Xianyu can become an elder of Ice Sect, and she can also cultivate to reach the realm of Saint two-layer stage on Tongzhan continent. Naturally, she is someone who is wise and smart. After listening to Yang Kai, of course she could understand what is going on. After pondering for a while, she said, if you say that, you really have a reason to come here. But Wang Yuhan is really quite scheming. His plan could fulfill his objective, while allowing him to remain hidden. This person should not be underestimated. Yang Kai smiled faintly, and said slowly, he want to trap me like this? If he just wanted to discredit me and let Xianxia look down on me, then it would be fine. But if he is malicious, hee. Although he guessed Wang Yuhan's intentions, he didn't mean to leave here. He originally stayed here, just intending to find something intentionally here to force Wang Yuhan's real intentions out, but he didn't expect to see Xianyu's figure here. Naturally, he just followed the water flow, and came to this ice and snow pavilion. You are still so lawless. Xianyu stared blankly, slightly lost, and the situation in front of her was similar to the scene when he broke into Ice Sect alone. Whether it was then or now, Yang Kai's strength was not high, but he dared to do some things that ordinary people did not dare to think about. But since you dare to do this, there must be something that you can rely on, and I will not persuade you, but you must be careful. I do not want to meet an old acquaintance here, just to collect his corpse. Do not worry, if I can't beat them I will simply escape. Yang Kai grinned, but you have to tell me first, what is the background of this joyous union pavilion? Background? Xianyu frowned, I don't understand the specific situation very much. After all, since I came here, I haven't had much contact with outsiders. There are 3 Void Return stage martial artists here, and this joyous union pavilion seems to be a secret industry of Watchtower sects, with the backing of the city master. Watchtower sect. Yang Kai froze for a moment, feeling like he seemed to have dealt with the disciple of this Watchtower sect, but even if he think about it carefully, he can't remember it. Since he can't remember it, it shouldn't be an important matter. Yang Kai didn't care about it anymore. He touched his chin and pondered, the 3 Void Return stage are staying in the town, but they are also guarding this place. Seeing the strange light flashing in his eyes, Xianyu's face changed and shouted, what do you want to do? Yang Kai waved his hand and smiled, it's not what you think. I have no hatred or complaint here. Naturally, I won't do anything bad here. I just want to take you away. Take me away. Xianyu's face was delighted. However, her face quickly turned dark and smiled bitterly. If you want to take me away, it won't be so easy. What's the problem? Yang Kai asked in surprise. Naturally there are difficulties, and it's not a small one. Since you come to the Ice-Snow Pavilion, you must have paid a lot of Saint Crystal. I don't know where your Saint Crystal came from, but only for one night and it will already cost so much. I'm afraid the cost to take me away will probably cost tens of times of what you already paid. Do you have so many Saint Crystal? Apparently, in her opinion, Yang Kai couldn't afford to pay such a big price. The Spirit Crystal, which is needed for the night here alone, is already an astronomical figure in the eyes of Xianyu. But Yang Kai laughed happily and said to her, you don't need to worry about this, I can still bring out some Spirit Crystals. Some of them. Xianyu couldn't help covering her red lips and stared at Yang Kai in amazement, as if she wanted to reevaluate him. She couldn't think of it anyway. Why can Yang Kai have such a huge net worth? I just don't know if Joyous Union Pavilion will let people go. It is reasonable to say that a woman like you who have received a VIP guest and lost the primordial yen, the Joyous Union Pavilion should not have the need to pay too much attention to you anymore. Yang Kai said. Suddenly, revealed a trace of embarrassment. This Yang's words have abruptness. Elder Xianyu, please don't blame. Xianyu had a blush on her pretty face, and she was quite charming. But she quickly recovered as usual and said, it's nothing, what you said is also true. But if you said I lost my primordial yen, won't those people in Joyous Union Pavilion see it? If you want to redeem me while still retaining my innocence, I'm afraid it's going to be difficult. Yang Kai can't help but frown. This is also true. I am afraid that Joyous Union Pavilion will start raising the price. But anyway, there are no deals that can't be negotiated in the world. I can only see if I can pay the corresponding price. Both you and me are from Tongzon continent. It's also God's will to let us meet here, and I won't let you stay here anyway. Xianxia heard the words, and there was a trace of gratitude on her face. She didn't say much, but she looked forward to it in her heart. If she could leave here, how could she stay here until now? Today, the arrival of Xianxia finally gave her a glimmer of hope. After missing this opportunity, she might have to live here for a lifetime and become a prostitute for the guest. At the moment, Xianxia asked some more details about Joyous Union Pavilion. Xianxia naturally knew some things, but she didn't know much about many things and could not help Xianxia. An hour later, Xianxia called the maidservant of Joyous Union Pavilion. After telling her, the maid looked at Xianxia unexpectedly, and left with a complicated look. After waiting for a time that is required to finish a cup of tea, the young woman who had dealt with Xianxia before appeared in the attic, and looked at Xianxia with a smile, and a strange light flashed in her beautiful eyes. Obviously, she had heard some information from her maidservant. Xianxia personally served the tea, and then stood beside Xianxia with a little nervousness in her expression. The young woman sipped a few sips of tea, and said, "I heard that the young master intends to redeem your girl, and free her?" "True." Xianxia nodded calmly and opened the topic straight away. "I am very satisfied with this girl, so I want to take her out of here. I wonder if your building is willing to let people go." The young woman giggled when she heard the words and looked at Xianxia with a trace of surprise in her eyes. Then she said, "If this mistress is not mistaken, Yuer's primordial yin does not seem to be picked. Why do you want to take Yuer?" Xianxia frowned. "I naturally have my own reasons. Do you have to explore this point in your building?" "Young master, forgive me, but our Joyous Union Pavilion has few precedents for girls to be redeemed. This mistress has to be cautious." A trace of embarrassment appeared on Xianxia's face, and he pondered for a while before saying, "Since that is the case, it should indeed be explained to your building." "Yes, I am indeed haven't done anything to this girl, and I am only interested in the ice attribute cultivation, which is useful for my future." Ice attribute cultivation? If this is the case, then this mistress really can't understand. There are many martial artists who cultivate this kind of cultivation. Why does the young master only want your girl? She seems to want to look deep into his heart. Xianxia chuckled. There are indeed a lot of martial arts practitioners who practice this kind of attribute, but there are not many people who have a chance to join. If I say that I am in love with Yuer at first sight, will the girl believe it? The young woman could not help giggling, and Xianxia, who stood beside Xianxia, had a hint of red blush on her face, looking shy and moving. The girl doesn't seem to believe it, but this is the truth, and there is nothing to hide from it. Xianxia did not argue anymore. Don't know if the girl bite his excuse. The young woman frowned, and suddenly she stood up and came to Xianxia, held her arm intimately, and smiled to Xianxia. "Young master, don't blame. It's not that this mistress be careful. Just your girl has been with our Joyous Union Pavilion from a young age. We have paid a lot to cultivate her to this point. And this mistress and your girl, also a close sisters, really reluctant to let her leave. Still want her to accompany me for a period of time. Cultivate from childhood, close sisters." Xianxia smiled and laughed, but the smile on the face of the young woman did not diminish, and calmly confronted Xianxia. If Xianxia hadn't known Xianxia for a long time and knew her origins, he would definitely be deceived by her. The woman's ability to talk nonsense is not bad. Suddenly, Xianxia looks positive and waved. "The girl, say the price. Since you didn't refuse, there must be a room for negotiation. You can say it. I will see if I can bear the price. Let's take a good look and negotiate. Well, it's just a deal." The young woman pouted slightly, turned her body, and returned to her seat. She said lightly, "Young master is really fast and decisive, so this mistress won't say any more. Indeed, we have a precedent for the girl of Joyous Union Pavilion, but the girl of Saint King Realm has never been redeemed before. Young master is here to set a precedent. If you really want to do this, the price will not be too small. Tell me." Xianxia looked at her lightly. The young woman frowned slightly, and looked at Xianyu, said, if your girl has lost her primordial yin, then naturally it is another matter, but since she still retains her innocence, the price will naturally be much higher. Is the girl not mistaken? Yongkai suddenly sneered, I have already paid Saint Crystal for tonight. In fact, the girl primordial yin is already mine. Do you want to bargain? It is indeed this truth. The young woman pursed her lips and smiled, but the young master is not taking the primordial yin from you here. That's naturally another matter, but if young master repents, you can do it with Yuer now. This mistress won't stop. Wait until your dual cultivation is over, then continue talking about this. She seems to have determined that Yongkai will not do this, so she intend to fully take advantage of this. Yongkai's face was suddenly cold, while Xianyu's face turned bitter. Being forced to watch others bargaining over her like she is some kind of item for sale, even discussing the matter of her purity like it was selling a product, causing Xianyu's face to turn sour. To be continued.